Hello. So thought I'd make a video for game week 32. Give them some wildcard thoughts. I haven't hit the button yet, but I'm pretty much committed to wildcard 32 because I've already started price farming, which is not advisable. But I just felt like doing it. Yeah, probably not. A little bit slightly impulsive decision, and it was partly due to whenever I hear people say don't go early on transfers, it really makes me want to go early on transfers. So I did it, but then also I think I was just very likely to wildcard 32. My team in 32 is not as good as others. I've got double Bournemouth against Arsenal. Not loving Rodgers. Ekitike is a bit of an issue. I'm not sure he'll play that game necessarily. Sandwiched between the Champions League games. So I just fancied it. I was just really keen. I was really likely to wildcard 32, and the thought of just inevitably wildcarding in 32 and then thinking, why didn't I just go early? Because I quite enjoy doing the price farming. Sometimes it's interesting. I could already feel myself feeling like that was a waste. I knew I was going to wildcard 32. Why didn't I just do it and do the price farming anyway? And we're setting up for a bench boost as well, which my team value is quite low. My first wildcard I made was I was about 8 million over, and so it was like team value might be an issue. But then saying that, to be honest, again, it's not really advisable. I haven't actually farmed that much. Welbeck, Van Heck and Wilson, and I missed bloody Gordon, which is really annoying. So it's not even that much to farm, and I missed one of them anyway. Didn't see him on the live FPL website. I must have just glazed over him or something. So I missed Gordon as well. So I'm only going to get maybe 0.3 if I'm lucky, 0.4 maybe. Once the other price changes happen, that'll happen probably in the final week after the FA Cup when everyone's probably going to hit the button anyway. So, yeah, I don't know, 0.3, 0.4 if I'm lucky. I don't plan to keep Wilson, but he might go up 0.2, so I might get a 0.1 out of him. Anyway, I've been playing quite impulsively this season anyway, so I've started price farming. This is a random wildcard that I've settled with, but it's not. I don't know how people kind of manage to do it so quickly, get these videos out on like day one. I've been kind of tinkering all week, and this isn't even like you have to put so much thought into every pick. So I don't know if I'll do Caicedo. Caicedo's on 9 yellows, and he could get suspended if he gets a yellow in game week 32. Be suspended for 2 games. So I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll just start with a little update with the fixtures, because we had an announcement yesterday, the fixtures for game week 35, and the TV companies have put Leeds Burnley on the Friday. They've also got Everton, Man City, Chelsea, Forest on the Monday. So the double blank landscape has changed again a little bit. So basically, here's the TV picks on Saturday. That Leeds and Burnley game means that if Leeds beat West Ham in the FA Cup, then this Leeds-Bournemouth game that will become a blank there, it now probably can't go into the midweek of 34. I think it still technically could if the FA Cup was on the Saturday and the Leeds, they put it on the Tuesday and then they could play on the Friday. But I feel like that's very unlikely, kind of unheard of. I don't know whether it's a definite impossibility, but I think it's kind of unheard of and seems pretty unlikely now. So that's really good news. If Leeds beat West Ham in the FA Cup, then it will be a blank in 34. Now, it might not necessarily go to 33. I think it probably would. It can fit on the Tuesday, fit on the Wednesday or Tuesday, any of them. It will probably go to 33, but it could go to 35, 36, even 37. I don't know. It could go other places. But it's a double somewhere. And if it ends up going in 33, then I'll probably have to. I'll come on to this in a moment. But I'll probably have to. If you're going to go buy some Bournemouth and Leeds players, you have to hold your breath when Bournemouth play Arsenal. You have to bench your players or something, and then Leeds have got like Man United, so you probably have to bench the players or book a transfer in for their double. But if it comes later on, then you can just transfer them in later and avoid this little patch here. Anyway, that's Bournemouth Leeds. That's if Leeds beat West Ham, though. If West Ham beat Leeds in the FA Cup, then that game is, I'm pretty sure, very likely to go in 34. So there's a lot riding on that game. And the reason why that is because currently West Ham are playing on the Monday in 33. So it probably, West Ham Everton probably can't go in 33. It also, I don't think it can go in 35 now because this Everton Man City game has been drawn on the Monday there. So it can't go in 35. And I've also, there's a chap here who knows what he's talking about. Ian Parron and this chap seem to know a lot about fixture rescheduling. And he reckons Arsenal West Ham will probably get moved to the Monday in game week 36 because he reckons it's a bit complicated. I'm just trying to learn it myself, but they reckon that Sky are going to want Man City Palace to go in 36, but they're going to want to pick Arsenal West Ham is going to be their first pick, but their first pick will be that means that's going to put it on the Sunday. But they can do these swaps. So what they reckon is they'll pick Arsenal West Ham as their first pick, Sky. They reckon TNT, this is the theory I'm guessing, TNT will probably go for Liverpool Chelsea rather than Man City Brentford because that's a more important fixture. So they'll get that one. And then Sky for their third pick will pick Man City Brentford. And now they can put that on the Monday and then switch them. And so they can now switch Man City Brentford to Sunday or Saturday somewhere, I think, and then Arsenal will go on the Monday, is the thinking. And then they can get both Arsenal and Man City, and they can put the Man City Crystal Palace game on the Wednesday. It's all a bit above my pay grade. I don't know what I'm talking about for sure, but that's the theory, I think. But what it means is that if Arsenal and West Ham are on the Wednesday, then West Ham Everton can't go in 36 either. So you've got basically 33, 35 and 36 all blocked from West Ham going in. Not 100% blocked because you can squeeze them in, like West Ham playing on the Monday here. They could theoretically play on the Thursday there and then they could have their FA Cup game on the Sunday. So it can squeeze in, but it's just looking like 34 is probably the one fixture where West Ham can go, I think. So that's a bummer. So that West Ham Leeds FA Cup game, I really want Leeds to win that because if West Ham win it, it's boring. But then again, saying that, if Leeds win it and we get a double in 33, maybe it means everybody wildcards in 32 and bench boosters in 33, and it'll be boring. So maybe not. If West Ham win, maybe it'll just add more variety. So we'll see. That's that landscape. Then with Man City as well, these new fixtures, it kind of looks to me like Man City's potential doubles of Burnley and Crystal Palace are just being forced into 33 and 36 because Man City Burnley can't go in 34, probably not because Burnley play on the Friday here, and Man City Crystal Palace probably can't go in 34 because by the time Crystal Palace, if they're knocked out of the Conference League, you've only got 2 weeks notice to put it there, which is probably a bit short, probably a little bit too short a notice. So it's probably not going to go. They're not going to have a double in 34, and then in 35 Man City play on the Monday here, so they're probably not going to get a double in 35 either. And so it's just Man City Palace or Man City Burnley 33 or 36, and of course Palace play on the Monday here, so Man City Palace can't go in 33. So if Man City beat Liverpool, it almost necessarily means that Man City Burnley is going to have to go in 33 and Man City Palace is going to have to go in 36. Pretty much. Again, there might be ways to squeeze it in. There might be things you can do on 37, but I don't think so. 37 Man City, if they get to the final, Blank will have to go to the midweek, I think, in 37. So yeah, that's the situation with Man City. I think Man City Burnley 33 if they win, and then Man City Palace in 36 probably. If Liverpool beat Man City though, the theory is I think that Liverpool Palace will have to go. If Liverpool beat City, I'm pretty sure Palace have to have a double in 33. So that they'll have to move this one. They'll have to move that fixture in that scenario. So West Ham Palace will move, which means in that scenario, there is a chance that the West Ham Everton game could go in 33 as well in that scenario, because they'll move that fixture. So that's an outside chance of a double for West Ham. I still don't know whether it would or whether it would just stay in 34. But I think the idea is if Liverpool beat City, then Liverpool Palace would go in 33. Man City Palace would go in 36. Then Liverpool Villa, if they get to the final, if Villa are in the semi-final of the Europa League, they don't have to get to the final, just need to get to the semi-final, because that's when the decision will need to be made about whether a double goes in 36. Then Villa and Liverpool will go to 36 there. So you could have a Villa Liverpool and a City Palace double in 36. And I think James from Planet FPL said that if Liverpool Villa gets brought forward, whoever the other finalist is, if it's like Arsenal, Leeds, something like that, they might bring that forward as well for fairness. So you could have 3 doubles in 36 as well in that scenario if Liverpool win. But you need Liverpool to beat City, who are currently not the favourites to beat City. But that would be interesting. And that would also involve doubles in 36 and blanks in 37 for Liverpool, Villa, and then whoever their finalists, the other finalist is, and their opponents. So that's really interesting. Yeah, I can see why a lot of people are just waiting. They're just going to wait, because a lot of this is a lot of ifs and buts and maybes, and once we know, then we can kind of start thinking about it a bit more. But I like thinking about it now. So that's that. Arsenal and Chelsea are pretty simple. Arsenal favourites to beat Southampton. There's already somebody, an Arsenal fan, said something about rumours that it will go on the Wednesday already. So I don't know how much to take that for granted, how sure that is, but there's already rumours that there's talks behind the scenes that Newcastle game would go to the Wednesday there. So that's just need Arsenal to win, and they'll probably get double there. Chelsea versus Port Vale, very likely to win. Chelsea have been moved here to the game week on the Monday here. They could have their game go on 34. Not a huge amount of room, because Brighton are playing on the Saturday. So it would have to go on the Wednesday. It'd be a Sunday. Well, actually, it depends on the FA Cup, isn't it? When they play on the FA Cup, Chelsea, they play on the Saturday or the Sunday. But it could go in that game week 34. I still think Chelsea and Brighton would just go on that Tuesday, because it's TV pick, and it's the only pick. It's the only TV pick that can go on the Tuesday, because Chelsea and Brighton are both playing on the Saturday here, so they can actually put it on the Tuesday. Whereas like with Arsenal, they're playing on the Sunday, so it can only go on the Wednesday. I still think that theory is probably correct, and Chelsea Brighton will probably go on the Tuesday. I guess there's a little bit more nervousness that it could go in 34. Where's Chelsea then? So Chelsea, yes, they're playing on the Monday in 35, so it won't go in 35, unlikely. And I guess Chelsea Brighton is unlikely to go to 36. Certainly if Liverpool win, they don't want to put it. Well, they could, I suppose, but I don't know. All feels kind of unlikely. I think he's basically probably going to go in on the Tuesday in 33. But I guess there's a little bit of doubt, and it could go in 34. So that's it. Yeah, Newcastle Arsenal very likely on the Wednesday. Chelsea Brighton probably that Tuesday. It now feels really likely though that we're going to have a double out of whoever wins out of Liverpool or Man City. There'll be a double for them, whether it's Liverpool Palace or Man City Burnley. There still could be an outside chance as well that it could be Man City Palace. Not that anybody cares that much about this, but because if Liverpool win and they have to move that fixture, then effectively we go back to my original thinking, which is that first come first served thinking. So you put Man City Palace there, and Liverpool Palace can go in 37, and Liverpool Villa could go to 36. But I think that's unlikely, because in that scenario, if you put Man City Palace in 33, you're committing already to Liverpool Villa going in 36. Whereas I think they wanted to try and keep that clear. Whereas if you put Liverpool Palace there, Man City will be out of the FA Cup. They'll have 3 places to put Man City Palace if they want. So they can just they can put it in 36. I suppose it's still a fixture in 36, but it's not the FA Cup teams. They can put it in 36, and then Liverpool Villa may not have to come forward if Liverpool get to the final or not get to the final, or Villa get knocked out of the Europa. Yeah, I need to stop. It gets all complicated. So they're the variations, but feels likely we're probably going to get 3 doubles again. Now we're back. I'm back to feeling more bullish that we're going to get 3 doubles in 33 now. Yeah, and maybe even 4 if Leeds beat Bournemouth. Leeds beat West Ham. So that's fun. So that's the scenario there. Let's have a look at wildcard. So the wildcard draft. The first thing I'd probably talk about is Man City. So I mean, here's the model. I've got my model from game week 32 to 38 with a free hit in 34. This is how it looks. I've also put Bournemouth and Leeds in here at the moment as well as having a double in 33. So just because I wanted to see and compare. But they're kind of a secondary thought for me at the moment. So at the top you got like Haaland, Nico O'Reilly and Semenyo near the top. And so Man City would have like 8 fixtures. If you free hit in 34, over these 6 game weeks, Man City would actually have 8 fixtures because they'd have 2 doubles, 1 in 33 and 1 in 36. So they're going to have the most fixtures. So they're like the first team to kind of prioritise, I think, on a wild card. And so you're thinking, who's your Man City triple? And at the moment, the default, I would say, is O'Reilly, Semenyo and Haaland. Other options are Gay, Donnarumma, Cherky maybe. But you've got Pep Roulette, haven't you? There was a little rumour of Haaland going to see a doctor here. I don't know how much to take into that. It could just be a rumour, but he didn't play for Norway here, so I don't know where he's up to. But there's a lot of players that have missed internationals, so there's a lot of players that have missed internationals. So he could just be a rest, things like that. He could just have a niggle. Haaland feels likely to be in my team if he's got 2 doubles coming up. He will probably be in my team, but he hasn't been playing great. So yeah, Haaland has been 0.32 XGI. He's not very good, but I still think I'm going to go for him. I mean, he's still high up here anyway, although 50% of his points is coming from that 0.86 number. Yeah, probably go for Haaland. O'Reilly will probably go for, and Semenyo. I mean, I've heard some people talking about Cherky, saying he's really good. He might start taking minutes off Semenyo. And the problem with Pep is, pardon me. The problem with Pep is you just never know. You always get lulled into a false sense of security. If you look back through his past, the way he rotates and stuff, he's not willy-nilly or stuff. Sometimes he'll actually have a block where he'll play a player every single game, and then suddenly he'll just drop him. He'll just change to a different tactic, and somebody else will come in. He's always kind of like freshening things up like that, and it's very hard to predict. So at the moment, that trio looks great, but it's just that feeling of like, well, I could go for Semenyo and then it'll be Cherky that goes off, or I could go for Cherky and Semenyo is going to kill me again. You know, like the idea of not going for Semenyo and just having him kill my rank again feels bad. So at the moment, I think I'm going to stick with these guys. Let's have a look at the minutes for Man City. What we got here. So Semenyo's at the top. He started every game. You know, I think some people said he missed a Madrid game the other day. He started every game for like Bournemouth, and then he's starting every game for City. Feels weird to not go for him. He's a really good player. 0.5-ish XGI, I think. So I think I'll stick with him. Yeah, so Semenyo looks good. O'Reilly as well. His minutes look fine. I mean, I think he missed a game in 29, but I think he had a knock, an injury or something in 28. so he missed 29, but his minutes have been pretty good all season. He had a little wobble there, 21-22, when he was like, he looked like he was struggling a bit, and that's when we all sold him, and then he come back and turned into a superstar. So O'Reilly feels good, and Haaland's minutes are pretty good. I mean, again, he's been wobbling a bit, but yeah, I don't know, it's tricky. So I think they're the three. There's some talk of like Donnarumma and Gay, you know, Pep might rotate them towards the end. This idea that the season might be over and Man City will have nothing to play for because Arsenal will have won the league and they'll start rotating. I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm not as confident as that. I think, I'm guessing that the league is going to go right down to, it won't be settled until like game week 36ish, especially if Man City have got this extra game in hand as well. Where was I started doing some rough maths on it. This is if this is the league table, and this is if they win every game. But if Man City beat Arsenal at the Etihad, then there'll only be 6 points in it at that point. We've got like 9 points in it at the moment. So if Man City beat Arsenal, there'll only be 6 points in it at that point. There'll be 6 points in it right into game week 36, and then if Man City win their game in hand, there'll only be 3 points in it. This is assuming they win all their games apart from that Etihad game. So there's a lot riding on that Etihad game. And even if they draw, I just think Arsenal got a lot of tough games. And Arsenal have a lot of fixtures. Arsenal have pretty much back-to-back fixtures for 11 fixtures. Their next rest comes in game week 36, whereas Man City are out of Europe, so they're going to have loads of rest between games. So Arsenal, they may struggle a bit, I think, and these aren't like EFL inconsequential games where they can rest players. These are going to be big games now. So I don't think it's necessarily going to be over. So I'm willing to punt that they're still going to want their best team, best players. So yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at the moment. We'll wait another week or two, see if things change. Next picks though, after that trio. So my model has Bruno as like the second best pick, even though he's only playing 6 fixtures. He hasn't even got a double anywhere, and he's still the second best pick apparently. So I'm probably going to pick him. I've got a lot of value tied up in him as well. Don't really want to sell him. So it's a shame he's got Chelsea away in that 33 in the double game week. But I think I will probably just play him. Having a bench boost with Bruno on it isn't that bad, is it? On your bench, I will probably play him. Leeds versus Man United is a big rivalry. Leeds versus Liverpool is a big. Man United versus Liverpool is a big rivalry as well. The other fixtures look pretty good. Sunderland will probably be on the beach. Forest might be safe by that point, might not be, but a lot of home games as well. Brighton could be on the beach by that point, I don't know. But Bruno, I think I'll probably keep him. I probably won't sell him. I doubt. So that's Bruno. So Mark Gay, Haaland, Semenyo, João Pedro is the next one up there. I think he's pretty likely to go into my team. Got the Man City game in 32. I could potentially bench him for that. I'll see how he looks, but I will probably buy him. I don't have to bench him for that. He's still okay. A goal a game XGI in the last 6, so he's doing quite well. Since Rafinha's been here, his minutes have been pretty good. I think he missed 1. Where is he? Rafinha came in about 21, so he had a 45 minute in 24. I think they had a lot of fixtures there. That was just before the EFL Arsenal game, I think. So he's getting a lot of minutes, playing well. I think he's a no-brainer. I think I'll be putting him in my team. Chelsea got good fixtures, 35-38 as well. Forest, Liverpool away is tricky. But then Tottenham and Sunderland. I don't really want to bench Pedro, but you could bench some of your Chelsea players for these fixtures. Chelsea rotate with Brighton really well as well, because when Chelsea got Liverpool, Brighton have got Wolves, I think. And when Chelsea have got Man City, Brighton have got Burnley. So there could be some rotations there. Next up, Declan Rice. So the Arsenal lads, I'm a little nervous about because, as I said, they've got like 11 games back to back, half a 2 games a week for a long spell. I mean, they might be able to rest some people against Southampton, but still quite an important game. Then Sporting Bournemouth, Sporting Man City. This will be like a double here. If they get that double, then it'll be FA Cup there. Then if they get to the semi-final of the Champions League, I mean, that Fulham game with this Tuesday turnaround in the semi-final of the Champions League, they're going to have like a second string squad, aren't they, against that Fulham game, and maybe even the West Ham game. Although if the rumours of the West Ham game moving to the Monday are true, that could actually be quite nice because they'd have a really nice break there and then a break the other side. So yeah, I've just noticed that now. So West Ham is probably safe. It's just that Fulham game could be a bit of a headache. And I was looking back through their minutes, like Gabriel, Timber, Saliba, Rice, and they do tend to get a little bit of a rest occasionally, some of these players, but they usually get their rests in like in the EFL Cup and things like that. I don't know whether I want to go through all of this, but like, Rice is missing the odd game here. He's getting rested in Champions League games. They do tend to get rests every now and then. Timber misses 1 hour here, Saliba only 45 there. And they're not going to have that luxury of having games that they can be rested in. Now, maybe they'll just grin and bear it. They're professional footballers. It's the run-in. They'll just play. But I don't know. I think they might get rested for 1 or 2. They might just... one thing I noticed with Saliba is sometimes Gabriel and Timber were playing the Premier League games. A couple of times Saliba missed the Premier League game, and then he was the one that played in the EFL or the FA Cup, so that they have some sort of presence of a first teamer in some of these other games. So they mix it up and mix it around a bit sometimes. So I'm a little nervous about their minutes, but the flip side of that though is that their fixtures are so good. Arsenal's with let's have a look. Rice, Fulham, West Ham, Burnley, Palace is that last 4 there. So like that, and it's like it's Bournemouth's not bad, and then at home, and then Man City, Newcastle. I kind of feel like you got to go for them really. So I mean, I suppose Raya. There's a good argument to go for Raya. I don't really have much money at the moment. I was quite settled on Verbruggen, but it could be a good excuse to get Raya in there because he's going to play. But then even if they're rotated massively, are they even going to be good enough to keep a clean sheet in these games? And if they've got that many fixtures, how fatigued are they going to be? Could be tough. And Rice is a weird one. I always feel surprised that he's so high up on the model, but especially I guess he gets decent defcon. But 0.22 XGI in the last 6 is like, there are some defenders that have more than that. Chow's on 0.36 in the last 6, and who's this one? I saw somebody else. Lacroix is on 0.2 in the last 6. So, and that's most of that is XG, and he's got a better defcon chance. And he gets more points for a clean sheet as well. It feels weird that Rice is so high up there when he's not really. So I don't love having Declan Rice in the team, but yeah, he will probably play most of these. I don't know. I'll leave it there, but I'm undecided about the Arsenal players. Gabriel, as long as he's back, we'll have to check. Feels like I almost feel like I have to put him in there because he's got such high upside and everyone's going to have him, although I don't care about the EO so much. But yeah, there he is there. He's only a bit lower due to the fact that he's got a 75% yellow flag, but he'll probably be up here somewhere, one of the best picks. So I think I've got to go for Gabriel. Yep, so the Arsenal, yeah. So actually, in this draft, I don't even have Rice. I think I probably will try and get him in there, though. We'll see. So that's City and Arsenal. What else to talk about? Cole Palmer's up there. Saka. I mean, so if we just go down the list, Lacroix's up there, but I don't trust Palace. But he is up there. And if people do trust Palace, I mean, his double comes in 36 if he's going to get it. Got West Ham in 33. You could go for him, but I think I'm more inclined to look at Palace when that 36 double comes around, and maybe think about just hopping on, hopping off. Maybe. Got Arsenal on the last day of the season as well, so I'm not really going to want him for that. We'll see. There might be some players that you can kind of bench and then just whip them out for the doubles and then bench them again. Like a Chris Richards maybe. So we'll see. Saka, Maduake's injured. So we'll have to wait and see how long he's out for. But Saka could be an interesting punt. He could also be a good punt for the free hit 33ers, because I'm probably less inclined to go for Saka long term. But if you're on free hit 33 and Maduake is out for both of them, that could be a real nice free hit to get Saka in. You don't need as much money on your bench when you're not on a bench boost either. So Saka could be a nice differential if you're on free hit 33. But I probably won't go for him. He hasn't been playing great this year. He's all right. Palmer's playing well, apparently 0.71 XGI. I probably won't be able to get to him though. I'm like really tight for budget. He was one of the reasons I was 8 mil over budget, so I probably won't be able to get to Palmer. If you've got good team value, you could get him in. He'd be a good differential, but when there are cheaper players who are kind of competitive, he'll be the one that will probably miss out because he's too expensive. Gordon, I think I will pick. Newcastle again, like Chelsea, Newcastle got even better fixtures as well. The last 4: Brighton, Forest, West Ham, Fulham. Depends what Forest and West Ham, what the relegation battle's like in those games. It could still be going down to the wire, so they could be tough. But it could also be over by that point. Probably not. Probably not. I mean, let's have a little look at the relegation battle, because I think Nottingham Forest I was worried about. Nottingham Forest, they got that Burnley fixture there. If they can get 3 points there, it'll be alright. But all these other fixtures, I think, are Villa, Sunderland away, they can be tough. Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United, Bournemouth. They're quite tough fixtures, I think. So Forest, they might not be as safe as people think. West Ham have got, I mean, Leeds at home is a nice fixture, but it's the last day. Wolves at home is good. If they can get a win there, it's not bad. Palace might be on the beach. Everton, Brentford are not too bad fixtures. So West Ham are all right. And Spurs have got these two, this Wolves and Leeds fixtures. Yeah, Sunderland, Brighton, maybe. So Leeds have got that Wolves at home and Burnley at home there, and West Ham away there. But I think Leeds will probably be okay. So let's have a look. I think Leeds are okay. Let's just see where they're at the moment. 30. Well, they're not that far ahead. Palace are far ahead, aren't they? So they might get roped into it. So it might come down to the wire. We'll have to see. But at the moment, I'm still thinking I'll just go for Gordon and decide then. They're still crap teams. Shouldn't make that much of a difference. So Gordon, I think, will be nailed. And he's also it looks like his minutes are getting better as well. Gordon is here. Oops, what's that? Go away. Gordon at the start of the season was playing reduced minutes. But then just recently, apart from 25 there, he's just been playing much bigger minutes. Longer minutes now. So I think he's been playing up front a few times as well. So I think Gordon looks good. Yep. Chow, Botman's out. Probably not back until I think 35, 36-ish. Botman's out. Chow. Newcastle. Botman. 25th of the 4th. He's got it as. 25th of the 4th. Yeah, so maybe they'll probably have a blank in 34, so maybe 35. But I'll have to think about it more. But my hunch at the moment is that once Chow gets his place back again, because he only missed that one game, might have just been punishment for the Barcelona game. I kind of feel like once he's back in the team, plays these games, he'll probably just stay in there again. Botman, they may not rush back. So I will probably just stick with Chow. He's cheaper than Hall. I mean, I suppose I've got an opportunity to go to Hall. But Chow seems to be a lot better. I'm not sure where Hall is on this list. I should find him quick. Where's Hall? Not there. Dewsbury Hall. There he is, Lewis Hall. So 23 is not very many points. 0.18. He doesn't DEFCON. 70% start rate is probably not right. If he's starting every game, 23 points there. He's quite a long way from the 32 points that Chow's predicted there. So I think Chow probably is the better pick. 0.36 XGI in the last 6 is very good. Most of that XG. I will probably stick with Chow. If Bournemouth get the double, I'll come on to Bournemouth in a minute. There's like, you know, Senesi, Hill, Tavernier you could go for. Enzo Fernandez is up there, so he's pretty solid, safe. You could just stick him in there. He's got that Man City game though, so you might want to bench him for that one. Yeah, Enzo's kind of solid-ish. Yeah, I think that's it. So that's that. It will end up looking something like this. I didn't talk about the Brighton players actually, and the Brighton players are not. They don't appear as highly. So Van Heck's a little lower, but then the Brighton players, I kind of feel like I'm more likely to bring them in 32 and 33, and then maybe get rid of them, or maybe bench them and bring them out for Wolves, maybe Leeds, Welbeck as well. Welbeck, I nearly didn't get his price change because the first night when he was predicted to go up, I thought I'm probably not going to go for him. And then I changed my mind and luckily managed to get him before his price changed because it went up the second night. But Welbeck doesn't often play 2 games back to back. Here's Welbeck on the top line here. Let's see. He doesn't often play 2 90s back to back. He's like he misses the middle game here. The whole season has been like that. Don't know if you can see this on the screen, but it's like, yeah, so he doesn't often play 2 90s back to back. 20 then 80 there. Again there, 28 and 29, 90 and then 22. Now even if he plays a 90 and a 22, that's still better than just a single game week player. So I would expect, now he might play both games in the double, Welbeck. At the moment he's like a 0.5 guy XGI, then that's fine. Got good fixtures, Burnley and then Tottenham in the double as well. He'll probably play the Burnley and Tottenham game, I would have thought, and miss the Chelsea game, would be my guess. Brighton 32, got loads of big gap here, Burnley, then Tottenham, and then the Chelsea would be on that day there, and a big gap afterwards. Given there's a big gap afterwards, he might play both. So I think I'll go for him. And it was the reason I went for him in the end as well was realising that Ekitike might actually be a bit of a pickle. Because in 32 here, Liverpool have the Wednesday, Tuesday turnaround with Paris Saint-Germain. And Ekitike is just like, he's not going to play that Fulham game, is he? If they want him for these two. With Isaac coming back as well by this point, maybe that's a perfect game to introduce Isaac back into it. So I don't know, but it could be nervy with Ekitike there. So I stuck Welbeck in for now, and I think I will probably stick with Welbeck. Quite like Welbeck's just one of those punts that, you know, you just bring in on these random times, double game weeks, and he could be like a legend. Everyone gets really happy, and then you sell him again. You just bring him in for a couple of game weeks. Yeah, it feels good. Other forwards though, I mean, some people might go for Thiago. I've got, well, if Leeds get the double, then Calvert-Lewin I think I'd probably have over Welbeck. I think I'll go for Calvert-Lewin over Welbeck, maybe, although they don't have the Burnley fixture. One thing to say, I'm jumping thoughts here. One thing to say for my team, when I get to 33, I'm going to have 5 free transfers, which will be, I'll be in a use it or lose it situation. So I am wondering whether I should actually book one transfer in, so I could do like a Welbeck for 32, and then move him to Calvert-Lewin if Calvert-Lewin gets a double. But I don't know whether that's risky, because there's a good chance I will actually just get a injury in my team anyway, and so I'm probably going to have to be forced to use a transfer. So I don't know whether to just set my team up with no booked in transfers, presuming that I'm going to get an injury, and then use my transfer for that, because the danger of doing that is that if I don't get an injury and my team's absolutely fine, I might not have anything to do. I might have to actually burn a transfer when I could have actually maybe made this team slightly better booking a transfer. At the moment, I'm thinking if Man City beat Liverpool, we'll probably have less doubles than 36, and therefore maybe I will just use a transfer and book one in. But if Liverpool beat City and we potentially have another like 2 or 3 doubles in 36 or something like that, then maybe I won't. Maybe I'll save that transfer and see if I can, just in case. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, for forwards, yeah, if Leeds get a double, that'd be great. Calvert-Lewin will come in. Thiago's up there, 28. Well, he's nailed 28 points. Is not amazing. Only the 6 fixtures. Not amazing fixtures either, because he's got Man City away and Liverpool away in 36 and 38. So, but Everton at home, Fulham at home, and West Ham at home are very good. So he would be a good single game week player if you want to play that game, and then you could sell him in 36 to some other doubler. That's not bad. Some people have got a lot of value in him as well, haven't they? So, yeah, 0.68 XGI in the last 6. I've kept him for now. You know, and if he's going to play, if he's averaging 87 minutes per start, and Welbeck's in the double is going to get, I don't know, he might get an 80 minute then a 20 minute, and only play 10 more minutes than Thiago anyway. Maybe it's not that big of a deal, big of a difference. So Thiago maybe, Ekitike probably not. Gyökeres is up there, but will he play every game? Probably not. Krupi, if he gets the double, could be interesting for a bench boost. Jared Bowen only got the 6 fixtures, but some people might go for him. Anyway, yeah, that's where we're at the moment, though. They're the options. Don't know about Enzo and Caicedo. Oh, and then if Burnley get the double, I think, because I don't have a huge amount of team value, Dubravka and E-Steve could be nice for the double, just because they're players that you can whip out for the double and then just leave them on your bench. I don't want too much money on my bench for the rest of the season, I doubt. So, and if we don't get the Bournemouth and Leeds double, then I may end up having to go with those two, because I don't want to put too much money on the bench. Don't know. These are things I've got to figure out, because I might be able to put a lot of money on the bench and then switch it around in 35. We'll see. Yeah, when it comes to like the doubles in 36 and stuff, it's like I'm going to have 9 transfers between now and the end of the season. I've got 5 banked up, and then I'll have another like 4 to come. There's a question of like, do I want to do a transfer to bring a player in and a player out again? Some of these doubles, I may just want to bring somebody in and then take them back out again. So that's like 2 transfers for one player. Because I'm not sure how many. You know, Palace don't really have. They'd have a double, but then you've got Arsenal here. So if you're bringing them in, you bring them in and then you take them back out again at some point, 36, 37-ish. So I need to think about that. do I want to just bring a player in and straight back out? Yeah, I've got to think about my transfers, how many I'm saving. Yeah, I think that's it though. I can't remember my thoughts for that. Oh, and then there's also Salah. Salah's another thing to think about, because he's leaving. Do we want to go for Salah? Nostalgic pick. Brentford at home, final day. The Man United fixture, Chelsea. Salah could be interesting, but again, at the moment I'm thinking I'm probably not going to go for Salah because, I mean, what about Haaland? Once the other side of Man City's double, you could save true transfers and then just do Haaland down to somebody else and then get Salah for the last two is an option. But I'm probably going to keep Haaland for these doubles if they come. So that's maybe an option. But it's just difficult for me to get to Salah. I think I haven't got that much money. I can't even get Palmer in there. And, you know, I could go for Palmer instead. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that's another thought. And I think that's all my thoughts. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I need to tinker more. We'll have another look as we get closer to it. I think that's enough thoughts for now, so I will leave it there. Okay, thanks for listening. See you later. Bye-bye.